I still hear the sound of the door trying to open, even though I know it was locked from the outside. This happened years ago, back when I still thought being alone in the wilderness was peaceful, back when silence felt like freedom instead of a warning. It made me feel in control, like nothing could touch me out there. That illusion didn't last. On my third day in the mountains, the sky shifted without warning. One minute it was gray, the next it was almost black, the kind of dark that feels heavy, like it's pressing down on everything. The wind picked up so fast it actually staggered me. Branches snapped somewhere above, sharp and violent. I remember thinking I needed shelter now. I was already soaked when I saw it. A structure, barely visible through the trees, small, crooked, wrong. I didn't hesitate. I ran. The cabin looked like it had been forgotten for decades. Wood warped and darkened, roof sagging slightly in the middle. But it was standing, and more importantly, it was dry inside. I pushed the door open and stepped in, slamming it behind me as the storm exploded outside. At first, all I cared about was warmth. I dropped my pack, peeled off my wet clothes, and just sat there on the floor trying to stop shaking. The rain on the roof was deafening, like thousands of fingers tapping all at once. But after a while, I started noticing things. There was a smell. Not just damp wood, something sour, old. I grabbed my flashlight and slowly swept it across the room. A table, a broken chair, a metal frame that might have been a bed, and then a sleeping bag. That's when something shifted in my chest. It didn't belong there. It looked newer than everything else, cleaner, like someone had used it recently. And that wasn't even the worst part. I moved closer to the door. My light caught marks on the wood, long, uneven scratches, dozens of them, some shallow, some deep enough to splinter the surface. My fingers hovered over them. I didn't touch them. I didn't want to, because I already knew what they were. Someone hadn't been trying to get in. They'd been trying to get out. I felt my stomach tighten as I looked at the door handle. A simple latch, nothing unusual, until I opened it and checked the frame. The locking mechanism was on the outside. There was nothing on the inside. I just stood there for a second, staring at it, trying to convince myself I was overthinking it, that it was just an old design, that it didn't mean anything. But then I turned toward the window, and everything got worse. The glass was intact, but there were screws drilled into the frame, one in each corner, driven in from the outside, holding it shut. My chest started to feel tight. My breathing got shallow. I stepped closer. Around the edges of the window frame, more scratches, deeper this time, desperate, like someone had tried to rip it open with their hands. I backed away slowly, my heart pounding so hard it felt like it was echoing in the room. I should have left right then. I know that now. But the storm outside sounded like it would tear the forest apart, and I told myself whatever happened here, it was old, long over. I stayed. That was my mistake. Time passed. I don't know how long. The storm got louder. The cabin creaked and groaned with every gust of wind. And then I heard something. A faint scraping sound. I froze. It came from outside, along the wall to my left. At first I told myself it was a branch. It had to be. But I didn't remember seeing any branches close enough to touch the cabin. The sound came again, slower this time. dragging. My hands started to shake. I held my breath, listening. Then came two heavy thumps right outside the door. Not wind, not rain. Something solid. I stood up slowly, every movement feeling too loud. My eyes drifted toward the window, but I couldn't bring myself to look through it, because if something was out there, it might already be looking in. And that's when I heard it. Pressure on the door. Not knocking, not pushing. Leaning, like someone was pressing their full weight against it. The wood creaked, the latch rattled once. Then it stopped. My entire body gold cold. Why wouldn't they just come inside? The door wasn't locked. Nothing was stopping them. Unless they didn't want to come in. Unless they wanted me to stay inside. That thought hit me so hard, I actually staggered back. And that's when I knew I had to leave. I grabbed my pack and started stuffing everything inside as fast as I could. My fingers felt clumsy, useless. I kept dropping things. I didn't care about the storm anymore. Something was wrong. Something very wrong. I was seconds from opening the door when the glass shattered behind me. I spun around. Something had come through the window. And then, fire. The entire room ignited at once. Not slowly, not naturally, instantly. Flames raced across the walls like they'd been waiting for this exact moment. The heat hit me so hard I couldn't breathe. I lunged for the door and tried to open it. It wouldn't move. My chest tightened as panic took over. I slammed into it once, twice. Nothing. It was jammed. From the outside. My vision started to blur from the smoke. My skin burned just being near the flames. I threw myself at the door again. This time, it gave. The wood splintered, and the entire thing collapsed outward, taking me with it. I hit the ground hard, rolled, and forced myself up. Then I ran. I didn't look back at first. I just ran blindly through the rain, branches whipping against my face, mud pulling at my feet. But then, something hit me from behind. Hard. I went down instantly, the air knocked out of me. Before I could react, hands were on me, grabbing, clawing. I couldn't see their face. I didn't want to. I just knew one thing. They were trying to kill me. I fought like I've never fought before, kicking, twisting, grabbing anything I could. My hands slipped against wet fabric. I felt fingers digging into my throat. My vision started to go dark. Then somehow, I broke free. I shoved them off and scrambled to my feet, slipping in the mud before catching myself. And then I ran again. Behind me, I heard screaming, not words, just noise, uncontrolled, animal. I didn't stop, not when my lungs burned, not when my legs started to give out, not even when I saw the glow behind me, the cabin fully engulfed, lighting up the forest like a signal. I just kept running. Eventually, I found a trail, then a road, then someone who helped me get to safety. I survived. Barely. The burns healed, the bruises faded, but weeks later, something happened that made everything worse. I was back at home, safe, or at least I thought I was. One night I was going through my backpack, cleaning it out, trying to forget everything. And that's when I noticed something. Something that didn't belong. My hands froze. There was an object sitting at the bottom of my bag. I don't remember putting it there. I slowly pulled it out. It was a small piece of metal,
blackened, burnt, bent slightly out of shape. It took me a few seconds to recognize it. It was part of the window frame from the cabin. My stomach dropped. I was shaking again, worse than before, because I knew one thing for sure. I never picked that up, and I never put it in my bag, which means someone else did. And that means they were closer to me than I ever realized, maybe even after I escaped, maybe even when I thought I was alone. And